It's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Well, I found this card from Cath, and I'm so sorry, Cath. I'm not sure if I've shown this card before. I love it. Look at the stitching that she did on this. And something happened along the way where I got a button caught on something. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was doing. I'm so sorry, because this is so beautiful the way she did her stitching. And Cath is from England, and I love the way she did her detail on the back, and especially the stitching on the front. Thank you so much, Cath. I love this card. It's so beautiful, and it would be even more beautiful if I hadn't had a little problem there. I'm so sorry about that. I'll put it in my drawer with my other keepsakes. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the card we're going to do today. It's going to be a tri-shutter card. It's going to be one of our fun fold cards. This is one that Lindsay did a long time ago on her channel. And I thought, what the heck, let's give it a shot. So we're going to use this set from Sunny Studios. Okay, now I'm going to drop all these little things out of it. Called Perfect Popsicles. Comes with dies and, of course, popsicles. And I have all these fun little brads in here that I thought would make the inside of the card frisky. And, of course, the die. And it's a double stamping set, so you have the plain stamp that you'll stamp with your lighter color. Well, first off, let me tell you that it hasn't gone well, and these I've washed them, and I ran a nail file over them, and I'm still struggling to get the ink to stay on them, but I thought I'd show you the two that I've done so far. And this last one's going to be yellow, and hopefully I'll get it to look decent. I've really struggled. I'm saying these stamps are not taking the ink like I thought they would, and even after I washed them with soap, and then I came in and used my nail file on them just gently, they still just don't want to take any of the ink in. I mean, it's not any, but they don't want to take the ink consistently. Like, there'll be spots where it will take ink and spots where it won't take ink, which is odd, but that's the way this has been going for me, and I like it. I gotta be honest. I really like this yellow one the best. And this is how I've had to stamp each one of them. I've had to stamp each level 3 times in order to get a good color on them, because like I said, it just doesn't like to accept that ink. It's saying, no buddy, you're not welcome here. That's another problem I've had, is the stick. Although you put it in the center, it doesn't really want to be in the center, so I've had to stamp it in 2 different places. One a little to the right and one a little to the left in order for it to look right. Yes, these are the tricky things that I've been doing, I'm telling you. I'm not usually this skilled at this kind of stuff. I should have used like a little teeny tiny ink pad, because when you're stamping something this little, it really makes it tricky. I just moved it a little bit each time I did it. That way I ended up with a stick that looked better. The single stick never seemed to work for me, so I've had to move it every time. I'm going to turn it to it so it's on my left, so I can stamp a little bit less of my background. Oh, one more, just for safe measure. Okay, let me go die cut out this last one, and I'll be back. First off, we've got all of our stamping done for the things we're going to add on. So first off, we're going to start with a piece of cardstock that I've cut to 6 inches high by 9 inches wide. Now we're going to score it, and our scoring is going to be done a little bit unusual, I think. We're going to, lost that. Excuse the noise. Sorry. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. We're going to score it at 3 inches all the way, and at 6 inches all the way. Then we're going to go to 1.5 inches, and we're only going to go down 1 inch. Alright, so I'm going to go down on my board to the 1-inch line. I hope you can see that. And I'm going to lay my piece of paper right there up against the wall so it makes it straight. Then at the 1.5 inch line, I'm going to make a score straight down to that 1 inch, like that. Then I'm going to turn my paper over because this is the easiest way for me to do this. I hope it'll work. If it doesn't, it won't be the first time I've made a big mistake like this, right? I'm going to put my little piece of paper on the 1-inch line again, and I'm going to go to the 1 1.5 inch mark, and I'm going to score down to that line again. So on two sides we have that 1 inch score, and that's all of our scoring we're going to do. The next thing we're going to do is, I put this here because if you are not sure of how you want to do this next part, you can use a cutting mat like this and a craft knife, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to live on the edge and use my cutting board. And here's how you do it. You're going to stick your cutting board and you're going to line up you're going to go to the end of that 1 inch mark where you scored. See, it's right there. You're going to move your little bar so that, you probably can't see this. If you can see right here, I have a little line. You like the ink on my finger? There's a little line on the side of that. It will line up with my 1 inch line that maybe you can't see, but I can. The score line down underneath it. So you're going to start there with your cutting blade, and you're going to cut until you reach the one. I'll turn it this way so you can hopefully see it. You see, I'll put this here. You see this mark right here? Right there. We're going to cut all the way up, sorry if my hand's in the way, to that mark. So our cuts are from that score to this score. Hopefully that worked for you. Okay, well, I folded my card and then I forgot that I needed to do the same scores on the other side. So remember we did the scores at the 1.5 inch down to our 1 inch line. Well, we're going to do it again on the bottom of the card because I forgot to do that. So at the 1.5 inch mark, again, we're going to do it down to our 1 inch line. Score mark there. And you're going to turn the card over, so on the opposite side at 1.5 inches. Again, putting our piece of paper in here for our 1 inch mark. It doesn't matter if you're excuse me, if you're off by a little bit there on that 1 inch mark. That's not that big of a deal. I just want to make sure that we have that mark in there, because when we go to cut, you need to be able to see that mark, and you'll need that score later when we go to finish the cutting. Alright, back to our cutting. Now, remember we cut this side from end to end. We're going to do the same with this. So we're going to line up our little cutting blade at the end. You can use, the thing that's nice about your cutting board is there's a 1 inch mark right here. That allows you, I don't know if you can see that, right here, there's a 1 inch mark. That allows you to know that your paper is in the right place. Then, as I told you before, you're going to use that little gray mark on, or the little mark on your, right there, to show you where you're starting, and I should be pretty close. And then we're going to go, I need to turn it so I can see it better, up to this score mark. Should be right. Okay. I'm sorry I forgot that the first time. These are the things that sometimes happen to me. Okay. So then what you're going to want to do, when you close the card, it's going to look like that. But we need these to go in the opposite direction of our folds underneath. So we're going to do that, and this one is right. So your fold on the top needs to be a mountain, this needs to be a valley, and this needs to be a mountain. So this part is high, this line is low, and this line is high. I hope that made sense. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our decorating. Of course, this is the easy part. We've done the hard part. Actually, the hardest part is making those cuts that we just did. So, you know, really the hard part is done and we're ready to make an easy card. So, I'm going to use 3 3/4 inch high by 2 3/4 inch wide pieces to go on each of these 3 spots. Then the piece inside is going to be 3 1/2 by 2 1/2. So let's glue these onto each other. All of my measurements are always down below in the information section. You don't have to worry about writing anything down. It should all be easy to find. Sometimes these fold cards are a little confusing, so I like to make sure I go over things a couple of times, and I apologize when I come off as a little bit scattered like I did with this, because sometimes I get a little screwed up when I'm making a card. You're going to want 3 of these that are all the same size. Before I glue them down, I should have already poked my holes in them because I want to put these brads in them. So I've got a bunch of brads that are they're just fun and frisky colors. They're white and green and blue, or turquoisey. And I have a pokey tool, and you'll want, if you have a piece of fun foam, that'll work perfectly, but you want something that you can poke into. So let me get my pokey tool, and I'm just going to poke a piece right there. And I have to decide, when you're doing this, you have to kind of think about, where do I want these in relationship to my popsicles, because we're just going to have popsicles on these, and then on our top section is where we're going to have our sentiments. Top and bottom section, I guess, is where we're going to have it. So I poked one right there, and then I think I'm going to put a green one down in the bottom, and then another one like right beside it. You got to make sure those holes are big enough, because when you do this, your brads, a lot of times when you get brads, they're not really well made, and you have a hard time keeping the top of the brad together, like where it's closest to the decoration. So you'll have to work on that a little bit sometimes. A lot of times it's fine, but sometimes it's not. And so I'm just giving you the forewarning that, see this one? You can see it definitely on that one. Do you see how at the near the top, the brad should be very tight together there, but it wasn't. So I just squeeze it together, and hopefully when we put it on the card, we'll be able to master that part of it. Then we're going to get our little fellas, and I'm going to put some of these foam squares on it. Someone asked me where I got these, and someone gave them to me. I don't know where I got them. I'm so sorry. I hate it when that happens, that I don't remember where I get something, but they're nice because they come in a roll and they come off really simply. And I wish I did remember where I got them, but you know, my brain is not always firing on all cylinders. The other thing I want to do is take my scissors, and I'm just going to cut this one into 3 long strips so that I can put them on the back of my stick. That way, each one of my popsicle sticks is going to stay as high as my popsicle. Tall, high, whatever. It's going to be the same height as my popsicle. I want to put the yellow one in the middle because our other ones are going to be on, our other ones are pretty similar to each other in the way they look. This one's pretty similar to the paper color too. Before you glue any of these pieces down, you need to glue down your side pieces. And these are 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. I want to make sure that's right because I don't want to lie, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, it's 1 1/4 by 5 3/4, and you're going to glue them on these side panels as straight as you can, like that. And you have 2 of those because you want one on either side. Now you could do other things, you don't have to. Okay, here's something that I did that is wrong. You see how this one, the 4 dots are going in a horizontal direction. On the other side, I had it going this way. So I need to make this piece over again because clearly that is not going to work. So I just need to cut another 1 1/4 inch strip. So now we'll pull this one over and hopefully line it up evenly. Close. Okay. So those are those 2 pieces. Now I have a piece that goes across the top and the bottom, and those are 3/4 inch high by 5 3/4 inches long. Now keep in mind, you're going to have really good adhesive on this because these are going to bend with our card. So we want to make sure that we use the same kind of tear tape, something that will work, because you're going to have to make sure that those bends work exactly like the other part. So that's that piece, and then I'm going to do the bottom. Then after I do all these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my bone folder, and we're going to burnish, not bone folder. We're not going to do bone foldering. We're going to use my bone folder and burnish this so that everything is really well scored and will fold and close and open and close and open. Okay, I want to make sure that my edges are laid down. Then you're going to make sure, again, this is a valley, but this is a mountain. And this, so this is high and that is low. So we're going to make sure we do those first. This is high and that is low. And then we're going to smash it all together like that. And I'm going to start pushing down on all of my folds just to make sure our card is really going to stay nice and closed. I'm flipping it over and do the same thing with these folds. It's all about making sure your folds are really tight, because if they are, then your card is going to look good. So the other thing that's weird about this card is, you know, when we do this, you think to yourself, well, this should be the front of the card over here. But in this case, this card, this is the front of the card. So we want to pick one of these that we like the best, for on that side. And also I wanted to tell you that I wanted to play with this just a little bit more. Here's what I thought would be a little bit fun. Maybe not, but I'm going with it anyway. I'm going to take my darker tones that I used on each of these, and I'm going to take my 1-inch chip brushes that I bought, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edge of this so it looks like the popsicle is kind of coming out of the paper. So I've taken the tear tape and put in the back of these, and then I put a little bit of the ink on each of the edges around my popsicles. Some are a little bit less vivid than others, like the green one you can really see, the yellow one you can really see. I think I need to put a little bit more blue on this blue one. Okay, so that is the pieces that we're going to stick on here. I think I want the green one, put this one on this side. Okay, so now all we have to do is adhere these, and I have my sentiment ready to go. That looks about right. I could have done, when Lindsay did it, she did a different pattern paper there, and I don't know, I don't know why I didn't think of doing that until after it was too late, but you can do a second pattern if you have matching, you know, if you grab a paper stack that has all the different colors matching. Put this one in the centerpiece. Right, like, hopefully, oops, my tape is sticking out over the top. I do not want that to happen. There we go. Then last but not least is this piece of that. Then next I have the 2 sentiments. They're from the same stamp set. It says, "You're so cool and have a sweet day." And you can put them wherever you want. You know, obviously your card's going to close like this. You can put them, like I was thinking I would put "You're so cool" right there and "Have a sweet day" right there, but I also thought I would notch out and make them into a banner. Look, I have those little things stuck to me. And to make a banner, all you do is you snip in the center like that. Okay, I'll just drop it, and that's not part of it. And then you go in from the corners into your center like that. And if one seems like it's a little bit longer than the other one, you can just play with it until you like it. "Have a sweet day," we're going to stick in the center of that section. Looks good. And then "You're so cool." I thought that was cute. Cut into the center. Then you go in that. Down a little bit. Still too long. Okay, I'm going to stick that one, hopefully, so you can see the top of that. And that is our card. Let me see where I could stamp. I'll stamp it right there. I made this for you. There is our card. And because of its size, you need to make a special envelope for it. I have explained that to you in the past, and it is in other videos. So if I'll link at the end of this how you do that in another video. So at the very end, look for another video and you'll find it. Oh, maybe I'll stick one of these right there. That'd be cool. I'm getting distracted now because you know I can be. I'm going to stick, this is a really cool brad, and I just thought it was fun, and it kind of matched the whole motif going on here. And although the back of the brad will show, it doesn't bother me. You can cover it up with another piece of paper if you want, but I don't really think I need it. I just thought maybe I should put one at the bottom too, because I have two of them. Kind of cool, isn't it? I think I'm doing it. Where is it? There it is, right there. Got myself all frisky about this. Put one right there. I have all these really beautiful brads and I never use them, and I always think about why don't I use them, because I do love them. I know brads aren't in fashion, but when do I ever care about what's in fashion? You know what I mean? I'm all about just making things that I think are fun and pretty, so I don't care about that part. So there is my card now. That's more fun, isn't it? Anybody want to vote on how much more fun that is? Thank you for your votes. This will definitely take a thicker envelope, like a padded envelope. I would not want to try doing it without, with a regular envelope because of its thickness. It is very, very thick. So that's my card. I hope you enjoyed it, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Tell your friends about me on social media because I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.